I.S.U.P.K.
Shalom, Israel. We are the I.S.U.P.K. starting out on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. If it's not the I.S.U.P.K. under Commander GEN.YAHANNA, then it's not the truth and it's not of the Lord. I'm here with my main man, Priest and Officer of 500 Karyash, Priest and Officer of 1,000, Abu Lumgabar. I got my man, Priest and Officer of 50, Mariah Allah. And we are here to give the Native American Indians, the so-called Native American Indians, the truth of the Bible, which are known as the tribe of Gad in the Bible. Right. If you are a Native American Indian, then you are the true chosen people of the Lord. And you can see that in everyday life and in history. And we're going to bring out some of those facts according to the Bible, according to archaeology, and according to history.
Right.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, verse 15. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying.
Now, the Bible said the word of the Lord came unto me. This is the prophet Ezekiel in the Bible prophesying out the word of the Most High, the word of the being that created the heaven and earth, the word of the being that created the body that houses your soul, the word of the being that created the water that you drink, the air that you breathe, the air that you can't see, the animals that you eat, everything that you see, feel, or hear. This is the word of the being that created that. Go ahead.
Verse 16. Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it.
The Bible said, do what?
Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it.
Now, in this age today, if you Native American Indian, if you Hispanic, or if you black, we are supposed to be one family.
That's right.
But right now, we are divided. Native American Indians, they're divided by themselves on the reservations.
Right.
The Hispanics, they're divided by themselves on the barrios. The blacks, they are divided by themselves in the ghettos. And that is not how it's supposed to be. We are of the same bloodline. We are brothers by blood. If you black, Hispanic, or Native American Indian, then you are brothers. And you're supposed to be one stick, meaning that you're supposed to be together. Now, the Bible is saying that right now, this is a future prophecy that Ezekiel is laying out. This is speaking about our conditions today. Speaking about how blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are not on one accord. We are separate from each other. But the Bible prophesies that Native Indians, Hispanics, and blacks are all going to come together, as we once was in the past.
Right.
Go ahead.
For Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions.
For Judah. Judah is the so-called African Americans, or speaking of the so-called Jamaicans, the so-called Haitians. Read that part again.
For Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions.
The children of Israel is speaking about the Hispanics. It's speaking about the Puerto Ricans, the Taino Indians. It's speaking about the Aztecs, the Mexicans. It's speaking about the Native American Indians, the Gadites. It's speaking about all the blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians who are known as the children of Israel. Go ahead.
Then take another stick and write upon it. For Joseph, the stick of Ephraim.
Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, is the so-called Puerto Ricans. Puerto Ricans are the head tribe of what you would call the Northern Kingdom. The Northern Kingdom would be consisting of Hispanics, of Native American Indian descent, or of Taino descent.
Negro descent. Indian or Negro descent.
Right. So go ahead.
And for all the house of Israel, his companions. Verse 17. And join them one to another into one stick.
The Bible said do what?
And join them one to another into one stick.
It don't matter your prerogative. It don't matter if you feel like you should be separate, that what you're going through has nothing to do with any other people. The Lord of this Bible has ordained that you have to do what?
Join them one to another into one stick.
Now, what does that mean? Join them one unto another into one stick. That means to come together as one family.
Right.
Like we was in the past.
Right.
If you ever read this Bible, it'll tell you that the Israelites were the strongest nation ever to walk this face of the earth. And you know why? Because of brotherhood. When blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are together, we are the strongest nation on the planet.
Right.
Right.
Now, when we are separate, we are the weakest nation on the planet.
Right.
And the proof is in the so-called pudding. When we are separate from each other, guess what? The Native American Indians end up on the reservations.
Right.
The Hispanics end up in the barrios. The blacks end up in the ghettos. And you know why? Because we don't have any brotherhood amongst each other. The blacks and Hispanics, we are not coming together and putting our strength into one stick. If blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians came together, we would control everything.
Right.
And that's been done time and time throughout this Bible. Go ahead.
I could, sir. I just want to add on to that because, as you know, blacks, Hispanic, Native Indians, black people, Native Hispanics, we've all suffered the same here in America. That is no secret. We've all suffered the same curses, the same monstrosities that have been committed to us, but yet we can't see that we are one people. You understand? Native Indians, Hispanics, and blacks, we are one people. But the reason we can't see that is because our oppressor divided us here in America. The scripture says, first we must realize that this book is our book. This is not the book of our oppressor. This is not the book of Thomas Jefferson, Abe Lincoln, of Columbus. This is the book of the people of our ancestors. And we have the archaeology and history to prove it. And blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians, we have never been closer, but because we can't see it because of colorism,
Right.
because of the of different nationalities. Brother would be like, I'm from the Navajo nation, I'm from this nation, that nation, I'm Mexican, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm African American. When none of these, we have no rights in these lands. When you're part of the Navajo nation, but you still getting gunned down in America just like a so-called Negro. Right. You African American, and the damn Nigerians are trying to invite you. Well, what was it? Ghana was trying to invite you back just so they can make a profit off you. You understand? Right. It's time for blacks, Hispanics, and their Indians realize that the only way we can survive in this land is through uniting, through truth, man.
Damn right. And what you just bring out was so heavy. It's so apparent in everyday life that blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians share the same blood. They share the same characteristics, the same DNA. When I was growing up, even I'm not even going to use myself as an example. Any city that you go into today in America where there is so-called black people in the ghetto, guess who you're going to find right next to them? So-called Hispanics.
Right.
And if the Native American Indians wasn't on the reservations, guess where you would be? Right with the blacks and Hispanics, right next to each other in the ghetto. And that's done purposely. We are going through the same curses. We are going through the same thing. And blacks and Native American Indians, we have the same vibration. We have, for example, it's a song that black people used to listen to all the time. I thought that was black people singing the song, but it actually turned out to be Native American Indians. I believe it's called Redbone.
Redbone.
The group was Redbone. The song, I forgot the name of the song, but for the longest, I could have sworn that was black people singing, but it turns out that was Native American Indians.
Right. And
it's things of this nature because we have the same bloodline. The Lord gave us the same spirit, the same souls. Any more on that?
And they shall become one in thine hand. That's it. Verse 18.
And the Lord said, we are going to become one. And it's so imperative that we become one. Because if you look into the news today, it's things that's going on out in this world that we have to pay attention to. America is going into the Third World War.
Right.
And once America goes into this Third World War, is one thing that blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are going to need in order to survive, and that's brotherhood.
If I could,
Yeah.
can I get look at Zephaniah 2:1, Mariah? But we must realize Native Indians, blacks, and Mexicans, all the Hispanics, is we have suffered like no one else in this land. We are 500 years deep in America, and we're all suffering the same. Now America's about to be destroyed.
Right.
Since 1969, we've told every Native Indian, black person, and Hispanic to unite together. Because once we join together, man, that's real power.
That's right.
Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians united as one people, we will be unstoppable. There's no stopping us once we unite. You understand? Because back when we're going to bring out the history today in Black Indians and the many historical books we have here at the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge that shows that the Native Indians and black people got along at one point. And there was one point we lived together in harmony. That we didn't give a damn if a black man slept with our daughter or if a Native man slept with a black woman. Why? Because we the same people, man. The Adas know. Look, you see me and this brother right next to me, Officer Awalunga Bar. He just a shade darker than me, man.
Right.
He a shade darker than me. We the same people in and out. You understand? Like we've suffered so much here in America, and we've been colonized so much that we can't see the bonds that we have. We can't see the similarities in our livelihood because we're so busy on thinking that we're two different people. Give me that if you could.
This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together.
Gather what?
Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together.
Gather yourselves together. There is a commandment from the Lord that we must gather ourselves together as Native Indians, Hispanics, and black people.
Right.
You want to know why? Because as you can see, Donald Trump is on a damn mad rage. He's at war with the Hispanics. He's at war with the Native Indians. And this is a war that's been going on since the beginning of time. Since the Mayflower landed here in America. Since Donald Trump, since way before Donald Trump was here, when his ancestors first arrived here, when Columbus came out here, they came out here to enslave the North American Indians. They came out here to enslave the Hispanics. You want to know why? Because they knew their true identity, man. They knew their true identity as the children of Israel.
That's right.
As the children of God. That's why they must divide us and kill us here today in America and murder us and slaughter us by the tens and thousands. Continue, Mariah.
Khan. O nation not desired.
Gather what?
Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together. O nation not desired.
O nation what?
O nation not desired.
And as you can see, blacks, Hispanics, and American Indians, who's more non-desired in this land than us? Who's more hated in this world than us? Blacks, Hispanics, and American Indians, there's something we don't even realize, man. We were sold at the auction blocks together. The only difference between Native Indians, Hispanics, and black people is the ship stop. That's the only difference. We were sent to Europe, and black people were sent here to the Americas. To this day, we still got family over there in Italy, in France, in England, all across there scattered. You want to know why? It's the same reason black people are over here scattered. Because we were stolen from our own land, which is predicted and prophesied in the Bible. If this Bible is a fairy tale book and a book with no prophecies, how did the Lord know that we were going to be sent here on slave ships? Let me go ahead and say this. Go ahead, Mariah.
Khan, verse 2.
Start from the top.
Khan, Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together. O nation not desired.
O nation not desired, man. You want to know what's a nation not desired? When over 100 million Native Indians were wiped out for their land. In the time span of Columbus alone, once he was done with the Americas, he killed over 80 million North American Indians off the continent to damn near extinction. You understand? And sold the rest of them into slavery. While the so-called Negroes died over 100 million on the boat ride alone to the Americas. This is a hatred they had for us since the beginning, man. This is what the scriptures called a perpetual hatred. Now, if we could drop that, Mariah, and let's get Black Indians, page 13 and third paragraph. Cool.
This is the book of Black Indians, page 13. Those who have put history into books have emphasized differences between Africans and Native Americans.
And that is something that's done on purpose to place boundaries, to put language barriers. At one point in time, Native American Indians and blacks, we spoke the same language.
Damn right.
We all spoke Hebrew. And then once Native American Indians came to this land, they spoke a dialect of Hebrew. As you can see in archaeology, like the Back Creek stone, like the Las Lonas stone found in New Mexico. Ancient Hebrew written by Native American Indians.
Right.
It's these type of boundaries and cunning plans that our so-called oppressor puts between Native American Indians, Hispanics, and blacks to separate us. Go ahead.
For example, they have stressed that Europeans encountered Indians as distinct individuals and members of proud nations.
They was what?
For example, they have stressed that Europeans encountered Indians as distinct individuals and members of proud nations.
The Native American Indians, you are a proud race of people, and that is a glorious thing. You have a rich history, but your history did not start just here in America. You done powerful things back in the Middle East. You done powerful things thousands of years before you came here to America.
Damn right.
Go ahead.
If I could real quick, sir, because a lot of people don't understand. Of course, we all know the land bridge theory of where the North American Indians came over here through Asia and all that, and there were Mongoloids. That's all complete garbage, man.
Right.
That was invented by a lot of people want to talk about Christianity and Catholicism and what not to believe under the oppressions and illusions of our oppressors. But if you believe in that thing, man, you believe in Christianity, because the one who came up with that was a Jesuit priest to throw off Native Americans and Hispanics from finding out their true heritage. They call you an Asian the same way they call black people so-called Africans. You understand? And many North American Indians, they stopped believing in that lie and came with the belief that we've always been here. Now that don't make no sense, because you gotta realize we are the original inhabitants of this land.
Right.
We are the first ones to discover America. But we must understand this: all life originated in the Middle East. That's proven. That's a proven point. But the fact of the matter is that we gotta realize if life started in the Middle East, how did the Native Indians and Hispanics get here? And what were they doing before this time? No Native Indian or Hispanic can explain that. They have theories, but we can prove it not only through the Bible, but through historical facts. You understand? The Bible is a history book.
That's right.
Take the religion and the spookism all off the Bible. The Bible is not a religious book. Religion is the chains that binds the Native American and Hispanic and black man's mind here in America. Take that off. Realize that the Bible is a history book of true events that happened to Native American Indians, Hispanics, and blacks.
Damn right. Yeah, keep going.
And Africans as nameless slaves. Little mention is made of the enslavement of Native Americans.
They say what?
And Africans as nameless slaves. Little mention is made of the enslavement of Native Americans, and nothing is said about the cultural similarities.
It just said little mention is it of the slavery that the Native American Indians went through. The Native American Indians went through everything that so-called blacks and Hispanics been through in this land.
Right.
Everything that black people went through, the Native American Indians suffered too.
Right.
And we are suffering the same damn thing to this day.
Damn
you
right.
dying on the reservations, guess what? We dying in the ghettos.
Right.
You strong out in the reservation, guess what? We strong out in the ghettos.
Right.
You are suffering at the feet of our so-called oppressor, and guess what? We doing the same thing. And it's time for Native American Indians, Hispanics, and blacks to come back to the Lord. And once we come back to the Lord, guess what? He's going to give us our power back.
That's right.
We're going to have the strength to fight our oppressors back and get our homeland and our culture, which we need so desperately. We need a compass of morality. That's what Native American Indians, Hispanics, and blacks need. We need to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord.
Man,
Got anything?
Concept, if I could, man, what Offside Walungabar is bringing out is so heavy because once we unite, like you gotta realize this, we are the most oppressed people here on this land, all across the world. We're the most hated, but they want to be us.
Right.
They want to be like, you gotta understand. Our oppressor, he's everything. He's the Jew. He's the African. He's the the samurai.
Last samurai.
Last samurai. He even stole the Native American Indians culture. Why do you think every damn oppressor we meet, they talk about, oh, I'm 1/8 Cherokee, I'm 1/16 Navajo, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, I'm this, because they want to be you so bad. Native Indians must realize that black people are their brother. We've been to powwows. We've seen brothers darker than both of us,
Right.
with woolly hair, and they native. So what's the problem? Why do Native Indians and black people got this beef? It don't make no sense.
If I could, I don't mean to cut you off, but
No,
what you're bringing out is just so heavy. When you really go to a powwow, you see it's not really, from my perspective as a black man, it's not really for the natives. It's like a show for white people.
Right.
I seen white people there, and it's like a show. The white man loves the culture of the Native American Indians. Just like he loved the culture of the blacks. Just like he loved the culture of the Hispanics. And he makes sport of our culture. And it's like we have to be the athletes for him. We have to be the entertainment for him.
Right.
Everything that you are facing is the same struggle that we are facing also. It's such a damn shame. And to further add on to that point, that our oppressor is just the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Damn right.
Once he committed genocide against the Native American Indians, guess what he did? He made them a mascot.
Damn
he made
right.
them the Redskins. He made them the Blackhawks.
Right.
He makes them into mascots and posters and things of that nature. Once he slaughtered them, killed off their buffalo, took their land and stripped them of all their culture and identity and made them a sport and entertainment, he plasters them all around his country as a trophy. And that's the same thing that blacks have suffered in this land.
If I could, sir, because what you're just saying is so heavy. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, man. Now, a lot of people don't even know this. Native Indians, before black people were even here in America, Native Indians and Hispanics were here first. Native Indians were called niggers before anyone else. Back in the land of Israel, the prophets were called niggers, man. They were called niggers. You can find that in Acts 13, the first verse. You can see what the prophets were called niggers. In the same way they were called niggers, here in America, the Native Indians were the first ones to be called niggers. Go look in the most recent, not the most recent I want to say, but go look into the old dictionaries. Go look up nigger. You don't see that it's of a Native Indian to someone who is of Native Indian descent. To call someone a nigger. You want to know why? Because they know Native Indians and black people, we're one people.
Damn right.
That's why they must divide us, man. And these powwows, like Officer IG saying, a lot of time, most of the time, as we know, they're to raise money. But most of the money does not go back to the reservations. Most of the money just go back to our corrupt council leaders and to our oppressors that they're watching it, man.
If I could, real quick, you
Salaki,
keep bringing out something so
Salaki,
heavy.
sir.
If I could, Salaki, how you mentioned the council leaders,
Right.
how Native American Indians are facing corrupt leaders on the reservations. Guess what? Black people are facing the same corruption with our leaders in the Christian church. Black leaders have sold out so-called African Americans for hundreds of years. Since
Right.
we've been in this land, our leaders have done nothing but sold us out. Starting with Martin Luther King, Jesse Jackson, Creflo Dollar, and the list goes on and on and on.
If I could, sir. And just like that, we got Sacagawea. Who else we got? We got not Jerome, but what's his name? And that one cat that intermingled, I can't remember his
I'll
name.
give you a movie that's a seller.
Oh.
Pocahontas.
Pocahontas.
It's like,
Hey, let me just say this, man. The story of Pocahontas is so evil. Like Officer IG said, they murder us and slaughter us and then make us mascots. Pocahontas was a rape victim, man. She was a 13-year-old girl that was what was it called? Me and Mayad was talking about it. What is it called, Mayad? When they that syndrome? That syndrome where they love Stockholm syndrome. She had Stockholm syndrome and she became in love with her oppressor, you understand? That was Pocahontas. Pocahontas fell in love with the ones who oppressed her. And that's the same way all of us here in America. But you see, they posed her, like you go watch the movie and it's a love story. It's a love story of a princess. Because she is a princess. She's the only true princess to all the Disney characters, man. And she fell in love with the devil. But in reality, you're going to look at the story and you'll find out Pocahontas was raped. That she was a rape victim and and her people were murdered and she was made a child sex slave to John Smith, man. That's what they don't want to talk to you about. They don't want to talk to you about all the suffering and murder you've suffered here in America. They don't want to talk about all the rapes and the slaughters. They want to just pass it over. The same way they do black people. The same way they do black people is the same way they do us here in America.
Right.
That's why Native Indians must realize we're stronger with black people. Black and brown love will conquer all, man. Ain't love conquers all. Black and brown love. Once we learn to love each other, once we learn that Native Indians and black people, we're one people, we're taking over the world straight like that.
That's right.
We're having our imagine that. Imagine if we had black people having their own what's the word where they have their own stands. Like they sell their own things at the powwows, concessions.
Okay.
Let's say they had their own concessions at the powwows. They make money, man.
Right.
We both make money. Now, you know what? Let's just say we stop inviting oppressors to the powwows. Let's have our own UPK powwow, man.
That's right.
We'll be down. Shit. Man, Commander GEN.YAHANNA will be down for that. I can tell you right now. We have our own UPK powwow instead of inviting all these damn oppressors, man.
Right.
Instead of inviting the same ones that murdered us and slaughtered us. Instead of inviting the children of John Smith, they invite our brothers, the Hispanics, the black people. I remember I sat there. I'm sorry, I don't mean to rant, but
Go ahead.
I ain't gotta say this. I remember I was saying at a one powwow with these Hispanic brothers. And this brother was from, I believe, Argentina. And they were saying with these Aztec Indians. And these Aztecs were like, well, you from Argentina, man. You're not supposed to be from around here. Like you should go find your own tribe and go sit with them. You see, that's the problem. That's no different than us having beef with each other, even though we live on the same block. But because you live on this side of the block, I live on that side of the block, now we got beef.
Right.
Like you Hispanics, you Native Indians, there's nothing different from us. Y'all both native to this land.
Right.
It's the same way with black people, man. Black people have suffered right alongside us, and we must realize we're one people. You want to get the scripture on this behind us, sir?
We can go ahead. Yeah, pull that.
Let's get comments. We got you. Let's get, if you could, Mariah, let's get the Ecclesiastes. Matter of fact, let's get Jeremiah 50 and 33 first.
That's Judah.
Go on, sir. And then we are going to get these last two scriptures in because it's important. Every Native Indian and black person must realize that ISUPK Res, we're here for every North American Indian.
Right.
We're here to unite the Native Indians to their brothers, which is the black people in America. And black people, black and Hispanics, man, and Native Indians, once you get us together, once we're able to sit down with each other and realize we have no differences, it's going to be amazing.
If I could.
Go ahead, sir.
Slugging. My best friends growing up in the world was Hispanic.
Right.
Like, since 6th grade on, I moved to the Hispanic neighborhood, and it was like I was just kicking it with niggas.
Right.
It felt no different. You know, the Hispanics say nigga all the time.
Right.
And it don't feel weird when they say it. You know, that's because we got the same spirit. Blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians, we are the same people.
If I could, sir, well, he said it so, I'm sorry, G just said it so heavy because Native Indians and Hispanics get mad that Hispanics and Native Indians are saying nigga. Man, y'all niggas, man.
Right.
Like, how y'all gonna get mad of for saying something that you are? Like we just brought out, we were called niggas first when they first came to this land.
Right.
You understand? We were the true, I don't want to say the true niggas because we all niggas. All of us, the 12 tribes of Israel, we must realize we are connected by bloodline. It don't matter how light you are or how dark you are. It matters your father's bloodline. If you are a Native Indian, Hispanic, or black man, and you're through your father's side of Negroid or Indian descent, then you one of us, man.
And if I could, add on to your point, if you're not in the ISUPK under Commander GEN.YAHANNA, then you are not authorized to teach this Bible.
Damn right.
If you teaching that the so-called Native American Indians have to be of Negroid descent, that is a lie.
Right.
Native American Indians are who they are. They
Damn
are
right.
Native American to this land.
Right.
The so-called Negro is not native to this land. We came to this land. So that whole doctrine of speaking that so-called African Americans are aboriginal to this
Right.
land is a lie.
Right.
It's not of the Lord. Anybody that's teaching that is not authorized to teach this Bible.
Right. It's like, so if I could just say one thing, it's divisive.
Exactly.
We're doing the same thing. That's how do I put it? Just because brothers, like for example, the Olmecs, them like you, who's seen the statue of the Olmecs out there in the Mayan and Aztec
If
civilization?
I could, I've seen that statue, and I've seen tons of Hispanics that look like that statue.
Exactly.
Right.
They got big old lips. They whether it's feathers or braids, it don't matter because Native Indians and Hispanics, we rock braids. Like you think of braids, who do you think of first? You think of Native Indians.
Right.
Black people, they rock braids before they even ever rock dreads. You understand? Blacks and Hispanics and Native American Indians, we're something beautiful, man. We will make this land run. If you take Native Indians, Hispanics, and Black people out of this land, this whole place is gonna crash.
Damn
They're
right.
gonna lose their damn mind. You understand? There's nothing better out there than a Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian. But you know what the problem is? The problem is that all these damn devils want you to keep you oppressed and under. That's why they gotta call you an Indian and a savage. That's why they gotta call you niggas, spicks, and wetbacks. They want you to feel downtrodden and depressed on this place. You think it's a coincidence that Native Indians are killing themselves on the reservation, and so are Black people? The only difference is Black people are killing themselves out here with crack cocaine, and Native Indians are killing themselves with heroin.
Right.
But you know what? Something we all kill ourselves with? Alcohol.
Right.
We the #1 alcoholics.
Good. Look at this picture. You got a white man on a horse. You got a so-called African American sitting on the floor, and then you got a so-called Native American Indian sitting on the floor.
Right.
So you got the Native American Indian on the floor next to the white man on the horse. You got an African American on the floor next to the white man on the horse.
Right.
Now we are going to read this in the Bible.
Damn right.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel.
The children of Israel. The children of Israel is the Native American Indians, the blacks, and the Hispanics.
Right.
Go ahead.
And the children of Judah
Okay, go ahead.
were oppressed together.
They were what?
Were oppressed together.
This is a picture that they got turned into a statue.
Right.
You can walk downtown and see this. This is a picture of a statue downtown. This is showing the oppression of who?
Of Judah
Of Judah, the so-called blacks. Go ahead.
and the children of Israel.
And the children of Israel, the so-called Native American Indians. When you are on a horse, that shows sign of rulership. And when you are beneath that, that sign shows signs of servitude. Go.
The book Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, verse 7.
Now we are about to see this statue that you can find downtown in the Bible. Go ahead.
I have seen servants upon horses.
I have seen what?
I have seen servants.
I have seen servants. Your so-called oppressor is not supposed to be ruling over you.
That's right.
The Lord intended Native American Indians, blacks, and Hispanics to be the ruling nation over the earth. We are supposed to govern the earth. The reason why the animals are dying, the reason why the ozone layer is destroyed, the reason why you don't have clean water is because servants are ruling the earth right now.
Right.
And the real rulers of this world are in bondage. Read that part again.
Verse 7. I have seen servants upon horses.
Your oppressor is supposed to be a servant, but he is upon a horse. Being upon a horse symbolizes rulership. Go ahead.
And princes walking as servants upon the earth.
You seen what?
And princes.
You seen Native American Indians, princes, blacks, Hispanics, princes doing what?
Walking as servants upon the earth.
Now everything is flipped in reverse. You got princes walking upon the earth as servants, and you got servants upon horses. Read that from the top.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth.
You think your oppressor don't know this Bible? You think your oppressor don't know what he's doing to you?
Right.
You think you in the reservations for no reason? You think that the blacks are in the ghettos for no reason? The Hispanics are in barrios for no reason? Your oppressor knows if he keeps you destroyed, guess what? He keeps his rulership.
Right.
While you being destroyed, he stays on top.
Right.
And you stay on the bottom.
If I could just add one thing, sir. And if you stay divided, you are conquered.
Right.
If you stay divided, he stays on top.
Right.
Once we realize, man, once we gather together, like we just read Zephaniah 2:1. We gathered, that what Christ died for. Christians will have you believe that Christ died for everyone to be accepted back. It's for blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians to love each other once again.
Right.
That's what Christ died for. Christ died for the Native Indians, blacks, and Hispanics to join together once again and realize they're brothers. Native Indians and black people, man, we have no differences.
Right.
Put all that out your mind and actually see the similarities we have. It's not no different struggle. There ain't no different from a black and red struggle. You understand? Blacks, we ain't even red.
Right.
We ain't even red. You look at my shirt. My shirt is red. Do I look red to y'all? Keep it 100 with me. Salaki, let me know. As far as I know, I'm brown.
Right.
But the so-called oppressor, he'll call you red because he wants to hide his true identity. He's the true red man on the earth. He ain't white. Man, here's what we gotta understand. Native Indians, black people, we must unite.
That's right.
Black and brown must unite or die. Just plain and simple like that.
Now, we are the ISUPK under Commander Gen Yohanna, and Commander General Yohanna, he don't want the money that's on the res. You know what he do want? He wants your brotherhood.
Right.
He want to get you out of hell. He want to get you off drugs, alcoholism, and the kidnappings of the Native American women. He wants you to follow the laws, statutes, commandments in the Bible. He wants you to thrive. He wants you to come back and be a brother to your brother. And that is the goal of the ISUPK. Again, we are the ISUPK, starting out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. If it's not the ISUPK under Commander Gen Yohanna, it is not the truth and it's not of the Lord. That's our time, Israel. Shalom.